Okay, Uncle Roddus back for the first video of 2024. It is 27th of January, and I have had some new records come in for the start of the year, so I've made my Christmas video where I showed the records that I got over the Christmas period from all the vouchers and stuff. But what I wasn't able to show you was the one that my wife actually ordered me for Christmas last February, and it took this long to get here. We pre-ordered it in February. It was supposed to be released around September, and then they got a letter saying there was a hold up, and then October rolled on, and then November rolled on, and I started emailing them saying what's going on, and they were saying, keep going, oh, we're going to send it soon, yes, we'll send it. And then I knew that someone in America had already got their copy of it, and so I started getting a bit pissed off, and I told them, I'm getting a bit pissed off, you're not telling me much, why haven't you sent it? And then they go, oh, we've had this major crisis and all the records were wrong, and apparently they've been sending them out internationally and they had double ups and all this. And I said, well, you know, you could have told me that, so don't get upset at me about getting upset at you guys. Anyway, so the record in question is the King Gizzard live box set, live at Red Rocks 2022. 12 LPs over 3 nights, so the entirety of each concert each night, and over those 3 concerts they did not repeat any songs, so every disc has different songs on it. They did not repeat any. I haven't actually looked at the track listing to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's what they said anyway. So yeah, this came with a booklet, so a bit of a blurb, some photographs, and not a lot of photographs, just yeah. This was out. There is different versions of this. This was the Needle Juice Records version. Fuzzbox put out a version, and another company put out a version, as they do. So this is one of the bootlegs. You know, so as I've mentioned before, King Gizzard put these up on our website. You can download the files and then press them to record at your leisure. So each night comes in a gatefold type sleeve like this. That's this is night 2. 4 records each night, although the last one, the records, there are 4 records, but the last side is in each one. Each record is on an individual different coloured vinyl. When they showed the vinyl on the website back in February, it showed a different colour setup than what they've sent me, but they did say on the website that they may be different. And actually, to be honest, I think what we got is better than what was actually. Most of them were just splatter vinyl. Well, they look pretty cool. I was very impressed, but I think most of these look pretty cool. Better with the 3-tone colours and the splatter effect and that. So I'm not going to show you all of those pieces of vinyl, but every one is different. 12 pieces. I haven't got through the whole thing yet. I've got through the first 2 nights, and you know, it's really cool. I mean, it's not super hi-fi. I mean, I guess they're soundboard recordings, but they're not super hi-fi, but they're pretty impressive. And there's lots of really quite extended guitar breaks and stuff. They kind of jam out a bit, so it's really cool. I'm suitably impressed, to be honest. I reckon it's pretty cool. And if you're an obsessive fan, then you know you'll want to get this. Someone else mentioned on Facebook that they thought this was going to be the best set because there's no repeats of the songs over the 8 sides. So 8 hours of 8 hours of live King Gizzard. I mean, these guys are a collector's nightmare. I mean, if you want to, you can collect all the variants of all the releases because they're put out to people just to put them out as far as they like. There are sometimes 40 to 50 different variants of each release. It won't be of this one, of course, because it's just too big, but a lot of the other releases, yeah, there are lots of them. I'm not going to go down that path, but I wouldn't mind, you know, I like their music and I like the colour aspect of it, and I wouldn't mind getting all of the live stuff that they put out. You know, they're a bit like the Grateful Dead of the 21st century, I think, aren't they? In some ways, you know, all these releases that they're putting out, live releases, yeah. And I'm not really into Grateful Dead at all. I really don't actually like them much at all. But you know, these guys do jam out and that like that. So, you know, pretty cool music. Okay. Moving on, so yeah, nice to have that box set finally. It turned up just last week or so. Also, before Christmas, I was communicating with a fella who's on one of the Facebook pages and I've bought records from before, and he showed a record I've been after for a while. In an earlier video, I showed on my trip down to Dunedin, I picked up one of the Braille Records catalogue that I'd been looking for a while, the Rabbit Lock record. He showed me this. David Watson. This is the last of the Braille releases from the 1980s and early 90s that I was after. They put out 10 records in that period from 1986 to 1991. This was the last one I needed to get my hands on. I believe it's probably the rarest, although I didn't pay as much for it as I have done for others, partly because, as you can see, there's a big piece of black felt writing on the cover. This used to belong to some outfit called Radio Contact. This is probably the weirdest record of the lot, of a pretty weird bunch. This is what's playing behind me in the background. This isn't really as jazzy as the other ones. This is more underground, sort of weird droney. Well, there's a real mix of stuff on here, actually. A couple of people have said this is their favourite Braille record, and I can probably see why. So, really pleased to have that. It does have the insert, which I have left. No, which I have here. Sorry, I've not left that. It's had the insert, so it just had the original insert, which I didn't know it had one of, so that's pretty cool. That came with it. So yeah, that completes my Braille record, and I actually did show this on a video I did of the Braille collectives, all of their releases. There are a few other boutique New Zealand record labels that I'm collecting, and one of them is 112 Records, and they've been quite prolific recently, and they have and I have shown probably another 4 LPs that they put out last year, and then this one here as well, which just came out. Did it come out early this year or late last year? I'm not sure. It may have only just been released a few weeks ago. Anyway, Smoking Daggers, Hot Cuts. Now, 112 Records, the guy that owns or founded 112, Kim somebody or other, what's his surname? Martinigo. Anyway, he plays on this, and so does a guy called Andrew Tolley, who I'm actually friends with on Facebook, and he's in a band called Blood Bags, and he's in a couple other bands that I've got stuff from. So anyway, this is pretty much a covers record. They're covering all old garage stuff from the 60s and 70s. A couple of tracks that I'm quite familiar with, and then there's one original on here. So yeah, this just came out. As I say, I buy pretty much everything on 112 Records, and this is I've got all of the LPs that they put out. I haven't got all the singles. They put out a few singles. This is on a smoky kind of vinyl. Like, I don't know if you can see that there. Anyway, so moving on. I also picked up, when I bought this, I grabbed a couple of others that were on my want list just to sort of fill in holes in my collection. I've just got some cricket on the tally next to me, just watching the results there. And so yeah, the Troy Kingi's new record, which I've been meaning to get my hands on. It's been out for a wee while. Time Wasters, mostly instrumental. A lot of instrumental tracks on this one. Troy has this project, 10 records in 10 years in 10 different genres. And saying that, the genres are all quite closely related, so they're not all that different. It's not like he's doing one punk album and a heavy metal album, and then a dub, and then a reggae album, and then I don't know, a soul record. He's done sort of soul and reggae and stuff like that. But so there is differences, but you know it's the same guy, and it's not like radically different. But he's a fantastic singer. I've seen him live. The best record he put out of the 10 of, well, I think this is number 8 or 7, so there's still a couple to go. First one came out in 2016 or 17. Maybe 15. I don't know. He's running out of time. Anyway, always good though, Troy. Yeah, he did release another one earlier last year. I think though there was a little bit of a gap between a couple of records. But anyway, so that fills in my Troy. And also, of course, he reissued the very first one of the series that he put out, which really cool because you could not buy it for love of money unless you had big deep wallet. And so I've got all of them now. So that's cool. This one has been out for a while. This is the Phaser Days EP from 2022. I bought this because I do like them, and this is a really good EP. The lady in question has one LP out and then a bunch of singles, but this one's on Flying Nun, and I wanted to catch up with the latest Flying Nun releases because I always will buy Flying Nun stuff, and I did pick up a whole bunch of later releases from Flying Nun late last year. And the other Flying Nun that I hadn't caught up with was this one from Grayson Gilmore, called Holding Patterns. This is his 4th LP on vinyl through Flying Nun. He also has a couple of CDs that he put out earlier. He was in a band called So Modern back in the early 2000s, or the first decade of the 2000s. So I do have most of the records. He's not someone I listen to a lot, to be honest. Quite sophisticated sort of pop music. This one's on a red vinyl release. But it's on Flying Nun, so I will buy it because it's Flying Nun. I mean, I'm never ever going to have all of the Flying Nun records because, there are 600 odd releases. Some of them are extremely rare and hard to find, although a lot of them have been reissued over the years, or there have been compilations by an artist reissued, like taking the EPs and the singles because you can't find the originals much at all. And saying that, I'll never have all of the originals. I do have quite a lot of originals, but nowhere near all of them. And they are getting very expensive to buy. So I generally would pick up the reissues, but that's annoying. And finally, on this quick run through of my latest releases, last year, later in the year, I showed the reissue of a record by a band called Homebrew, who are a New Zealand rap band who released a very successful record back in 2013 must be. And they released a 10th anniversary reissue on vinyl. Originally it was only coming out on CD. Apparently it topped the New Zealand charts. I knew nothing about it way back then. I didn't know much about it until I started collecting New Zealand music again. Then it was released on vinyl via a European label on 4 discs. So they really kind of spread it out. I mean, okay, CDs can be quite long. They put it on 4 discs. That is very hard to find, and was selling for quite a big dollars if you could find a copy. So I wasn't interested in that. It was great that they condensed it down to 2 discs. They did have to leave a track off it. That's fine. Anyway, it's a great record. I really enjoyed it. And this year, or this late last year, they put out this. Run It Back. So this is their first album since that time, because they pretty much sort of split up. Tom Scott, who I guess might be the leader of this record band, kind of a duo with other people assisting, maybe, I don't know. Has Beats, is it? What's the other guy's name? Has Beats is the other fella, but there's quite a few musicians on this. It's still probably as good as the earlier stuff. It hasn't changed that much. Anyway, Tom Scott, he was also in another kind of rappy type band called Avondale Bowling Club, who I haven't actually picked up any of their stuff because I don't know, I wasn't too sure about it, but now that I've been listening to this, I think I might have to backtrack and pick up some of their records because I don't have a lot of New Zealand rap, and a lot of it's not on vinyl. Anyway, so that's my lot for the start of the year. I'm probably hoping to try and take things a bit slower this year on the vinyl. I want to actually start investing some money, saving some cash, because retirement's actually not all that far away. And yeah. So anyway, that's me again, and Happy New Year to you all, and hope you have a productive and a great 2024. Thank you.